Sleeping in a different room. That's what I do. You know, when I get home, I try my best to help. On my off days, I try my best to help. And then, you know, when it's time to go to sleep, I definitely sleep in another room.
You talk about how it changes things playing for the name on the back of your jersey. Carries a little bit more weight being a father. What's the difference? When you started off playing football, you were just playing for yourself. Now playing for your family. What's the difference in that?
I feel like even back then I was still playing for my family, but even more so now knowing that somebody has to grow up wearing the same last name as me, and I have to set an example.
Jerome, do you feel you're still catching up, or are you where you wanted to be? I mean, after missing 3 days or whatever it was.
I feel like I'm caught up well. Duce does a good job at conditioning us, making sure that, you know, we go hard in practice so that, you know, when it's time for the game, we'll be ready.
Are you one of the guys that expects to play against Green Bay?
That's probably a coach to fancy question. We're still waiting on that.
What are you looking to bring the run game this year?
More juice and energy, probably more celebrations. Looking to have more fun with our running back room. You know, just a lot of energy.
Where do you feel the run game is at right now? Not just you, but just collectively your group.
I feel like we're all clicking, competing. I feel like we've all been getting better lately.
What did you learn last year being the number one back?
I learned a lot. I learned that preparation is key, and making sure you prepare mentally and physically are the keys to having success.
From what we've seen, I mean, there is a lot of empty formation in this offense. How do you feel about lining up at the line of scrimmage rather than in the backfield?
I feel good about it. Whatever it takes, wherever they put us, we're ready to play it, and we're excited about the opportunity to be able to line up wide.
Is that accurate? There is a lot, or am I exaggerating how much empty we're going to see?
You was telling me what you saw, so I'm responding to what you saw.
Hey, Jerome, we hear Coach Staley out there. I just wonder, what's it like working with him? What kind of impact has he had on you already?
It's been great working with him. He done brought a lot of juice, energy, and competition to the room. You know, we compete, but it's all good-hearted. Like I said before, he one of those dudes who he don't want you to run through a brick wall for him. He wants you to be there when he runs through the brick wall first, to run behind him.
How do you feel you did in place of Chubb last year?
I think I did decent. It's always more work to do, and I feel like there's a lot of places that I can get better.
When you talk about getting better, what was maybe one or two things that you really focused on to elevate your game going into this season?
Pass protection and knowing my blocking scheme and running the ball.
What's that like knowing, everybody says you prepare as if you're the starter, but I mean, you really went from being the backup to starting in one play. What was that like?
It was a great experience. Being thrown in that fast, you never know what's going to happen. And, my preparation ended up propelling me into, being able to be ready for that situation.
What does your pregame playlist look like?
Sheesh. All right. A lot of NBA YoungBoy, real DMX, some of those type guys.
Give me your top 5 artists of all time.
All time. Kendrick Lamar, number 1. I ain't gonna do all time. I'm gonna just do right now. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake, kinda, I like Kodak because I'm from Florida, and it was Meek Mill, but he kinda pushed it, We go Meek Mill.
What's your take on Chubb right now? I mean, is he in good spirits? Where do you see him getting on the field anytime soon?
Oh, yeah, Chubb, he always in good spirits. Chubb got like a real dog mentality. He might be out, but he's still getting that same work in that he was before. Still, like you saw on Instagram, still lifting heavy weights. I don't think nothing changed about Chubb. He still got that same dog in him that he had when he was playing.
He wasn't able to be out on the field with you, but how did he kind of help bring you along throughout as the season went on and even into this offseason as he's out here watching you guys in training camp?
Just like if he was playing, he still watched the film, and whenever I come to him after the game, he'll let me know, like, this is what you could have done differently. This is where you can get better, so start looking at this and working on that.
Obviously, the big news has been the stadium renderings that came out from Brook Park. Have you gotten a chance to look at it, and what did you think of them if you did?
They look nice, but we play wherever, whether it's on the lake, Brook Park, we leave that kind of like what happens with that up to the higher-ups. We just want to play.
Hey, Jerome, what is your other child's, boy or girl?
Girl.
Has it surprised you at all seeing Chubb's progress at this point after suffering such a traumatic injury?
Oh yeah, of course. Just seeing how he work and how he takes everything on. Like even from the time he got hurt up until now, you haven't really seen him duck his head or really worry about it too much. He just put his head down and work, and you can see it every day.
Obviously, Nick has been there for you guys in that running back room. How have you guys played a role in being there for him while he's going through the second of one of these injuries?
Just kind of making checking in on him in the off season, like you good, you okay, and he always gonna tell you yeah. But I think it's always good to make sure. Just keeping the energy up with him, laughing and joking, because he does the same with us. So like nothing's honestly changed with Chubb mentally. He just, like I said, he's the same dog, he's the same person, and he's gonna be ready to go.
Does it feel like talked a lot this offseason about Ken Dorsey coming in as the new offensive coordinator? From your perspective, does it feel like you have a new offensive coordinator?
Of course, Coach Dorsey, he bring a lot of energy. As you can see, our offense changing a little bit. It's definitely a difference with Coach Dorsey.
It's been like working with Jameis. Kind of what it's been getting to know him like.
It's been fun. I was a Tampa Bay fan when Jameis was in Tampa, so being able to see everything like on TV from a fan's perspective, and then seeing it in person is like, man, this dude is the same same person that you see every day on TV. He's the same person off the field too. He's a great guy.
Hey, are you still in the mix on kickoff return?
Yeah, yep. Whatever Bubba need me to do, I'm back there returning, run down, whatever he need me to do, I'm there.
You really seemed to thrive in that role last year. How different is that going to be this year with the new rules and just kind of we don't know what's going to happen?
Honestly, like you said, we don't know. The new rule is kind of crazy, and Bubba doing a good job at preparing us for what we're going to see when we play different teams, and how the rules are and what we need to do.
We haven't seen any yet, but are there exotic kick return plays drawn up that you guys will eventually practice?
Right now, we're just doing the basics of learning the actual play itself, what we can and can't do, how things look. We haven't really talked about much like that.
Can you think of anything comparable? Like, this just seems like such a big rule change. Is there anything comparable that you can think of and run through?
Not really.
Yeah.
This is different. It's really going to be different when it's time to play Madden. So I'm not really looking forward to that.
Since it encourages returns, so you must be loving it, though. Right?
Oh yeah, of course. Anything that we can do to get the ball in our hands, we love.
Did you have a chaotic story with your firstborn, like getting out there and making it just in time? Or what was the story with your daughter?
Oh yeah, I was at the Reese's Bowl at the time, and I was told that my girlfriend at the time was going into labor, and I needed to pretty much fly that day. Well, not even that day. I think it was at 3-4 o'clock in the morning that I had to fly. I actually had to drive. I think it was 3 hours to New Orleans, catch a 6 a.m. flight to Tampa, and it was pretty hectic, but I was able to make it.
What's
So
her
you
name?
made it in time?
Yep.
And what was this one a little bit calmer?
Yeah. She slept pretty good through the night.
What's her name?
Kalani.
Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, we got Duce Staley.
I got you. Yeah.
How we doing?
Good. Coach, how are you?
Great.
So Jerome just said pass protection and blocking is something that he really needs to improve upon. After you looking at the highlights from last year of him and seeing what he is now, have you seen improvement?
No doubt. That's something that he's getting better with. We talk about it all the time in the room, not just him, everybody. You got to be able to protect the quarterback. Of course, every running back wants the ball, they want to run the ball, but it's all about what you're doing when you don't have the ball. Everything from running out play actions and protecting the quarterback. So we take pride in doing that.
Jerome's just saying that you're not necessarily asking him to run through a wall, but you want him to be there when you run through the wall. How important is it for you to kind of set that tone every day for your
Jerome got that wrong. He gonna have to run through the wall too. We're gonna run. Yeah, no doubt. We're gonna run through it together. Well, it's. Yeah, I know. I'm just joking right now. And they understand. We all set the standard in our room, and nothing compromised that standard that we set. So we're gonna go to work every day as running backs. We're gonna turn cracks in the holes. We're gonna protect, like we just talked about. We're gonna catch the ball, put it away, and finish.
Is it difficult to run drills and keep everybody engaged through a whole season?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah. How difficult is it to run drills and not have them become boring?
It's not difficult at all. It's their job. And if they're bored, then they'll find another job.
Duce, how different is the training at your position than it was when you played?
I think that it hasn't changed. I just think about the commitment that first you could do a little bit more with 2 days, more padded practices. I get that part. But the mindset from the running back position never changed. It shouldn't anyway.
Duce, so many of your guys obviously getting looks at that kick returner role on special teams. Everything is so different this year with these rule changes. Just what has that been like for you guys as a staff to kind of get your heads together and figure out best options?
Yeah, it's been awesome, honestly, simply because, you get more opportunities to make this team. We understand the rules, they understand the rules, and as a running back, you get a chance to go back there and be that returner with this new way of doing things. So I think those guys are licking their chops for the opportunity, and I'm happy for them.
Duce, there's no doubt that the running game is going to look a little different, at least to us, than it did previously here. Did you and Roy Eastvan contribute to the formation of the running game we're going to see?
Yeah, it's still run where they're not and throw where they ain't, regardless. And as far as the run game itself is football, what I'm saying? We're going to just impose our will. We're going to get behind our good line that we have, and we're going to run the ball downhill.
We can hear you out there.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning.
We can hear you out there, like every
Okay.
play, making sure they finish the plays and really coaching them up vocally. Why is that so important to you to be that kind of coach and to be so loud out there on the field for them?
I mean, this is who I've been all my career playing and also as a coach. I live vicariously through them. I wish I was them. I wish I could still play. I tell these guys all the time, even defensive guys, when you're making a sack, I just made it too. Quarterback, when you just threw a bomb, I just threw it too. So I'm running down the field with you. So just being able to have that juice, that energy, and our players feed off of that. I was once a player. I remember my coach having it. I would feed off the energy that he brings. Because we know walking through those doors sometimes, they get in their heads a little bit, all right, this is a tough day or it's hot, whatever, man. You got to go to work. It's all about winning.
What coach was the most influential on you?
I had a bunch of them, man. I just don't want to just single out one. I mean, everybody from Andy Reid to Bill Cowher, my high school coach. So I had a bunch of good coaches.
What are your thoughts on Aiden so far in camp? What do you see from him?
Business approach. He comes in the building with a hard hat, and he got a sledgehammer, and he's ready. He's learning. One of the smartest definitely in the room. Being able to help others at a young age, which is awesome. He's taking great notes. Just being able to take in the room what he's learning onto the field, and that's what he's doing well.
What's your thoughts on Chubb
Who?
at this point? Chubb.
What my thoughts on him?
can
Oh, I
see
love him. You watch the play around here, right? You love him?
Oh, yeah.
I love him too.
I mean, in his present situation, is he getting closer?
I don't talk injuries. You got to ask coach about that.
Just seeing him on the sidelines a
Who was
lot
him?
when you guys Chubb, sorry.
Okay.
Seeing him on the sidelines a lot, talking to guys. What's that like to just kind of have his presence around
Right.
still as he
His energy and juice, man, is unbelievable. I know you guys don't get a chance to see nothing but the smile and the hard work ethic, but in our room, he brings energy, he brings leadership, and he brings juice, which I love being around.
I think coming back from an injury like that, seeing the videos online of him squatting, I think some people might take that for granted because you're just like, oh, it's Nick Chubb. He can do freak things. He's a freak athlete. But truly, how difficult is it to come back from what he's come back and what he's been able to push through?
Once again, I don't really want to talk about the injuries. I just see Nick right now in the present form, and he comes in here, he goes to work, he comes in the meeting rooms, he gives all his energy and attention to those guys, making sure they're getting better, and he's also getting better with the new system. So that's what we want from him right now as we speak.
Just when you were going through those 2 days when you played, do you think that made you guys tougher as football players, or then I'm not saying these guys aren't tough, but did that?
What are you saying? What are you trying to say?
I'm just wondering if did that make you guys tougher than like in this era with no pads?
We're living in a different day and different time, and we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and mentally, these guys are going to wherever they go to these academies back home, and they're training. We understand the rules, and we abide by the rules, and we respect the rules. But they know when they have to put in extra work, and that's what I admire about these guys.
You won both as a player and a coach of the Super Bowl. Just curious, that championship mentality, what does it take to make it through the season? Not only that, playoffs to go all the way.
Yeah, you got to work hard when the lights are off, when nobody's watching. You got to continue to have that championship mentality, just continue to have that focus and direction when nobody's watching. So when the lights come on, it's easy. So I want to win again and again at a high level. That'll never stop. That's in my gut.
And preaching that to these guys, are they taking it in? What is it? How do you read the room to know your guys are actually listening?
Yeah, you read the room by the way they come out here and work. Because they're not listening, they're not taking the teaching, they wouldn't work as hard as they do.
Duce, sorry if you've been asked about him already. I wasn't here at the beginning, but
say again. I'm sorry.
Sorry if you've been asked about him already. I wasn't here at the beginning, but being around Jameis Winston in this offense, what does he bring to the entire group, even your guys?
Right, he brings leadership. He brings that guy that walks in the room that everybody respects. He knows the offense. He's talking to everybody from the linemen to the defensive side of the ball to the kickers. You see his energy out there, and it's contagious. I love Jameis.
Hey, Duce, there's a time when running backs were kind of the star players in this league, and it's kind of, not that the position's been diminished, but kind of minimized in some people's eyes. Do you see it coming back around again at some point?
Who knows? Yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that question, but I tell my guys all the time, whenever you get an opportunity, just take full advantage of it. We talk about character in our room, and character is what you do without the ball. So if you don't have the ball, knock somebody out. Run the right route, be a good decoy. And then when you do get a chance to get the ball, showcase your skills. So, I understand as far as this league, this time that we're in, it's not like back in the days when, you got all 9 of them in the box and you're running the ball just straight downhill. And sometimes you have opportunity to do that. So it hasn't disappeared, but I understand that we don't see a lot of it. So they respect it, though.
Last one.
What?
Good job. Good job. Thanks, Duce.
Sorry about that. He was crazy.
Yeah, that guy was.
That shows that Jerome Portland. Exactly.
Oh my God, I'm a terrible start.
quarterback position. You played inside, you played outside. What is it like to be in a controlled environment versus outside, and how much of an impact does it truly make?
Well, I believe weather in football is such a important factor. But I think the history of football was built upon those. You think about the first Super Bowl. You think about the Ice Bowl, Kansas City versus Green Bay, and you think about just the features that game possessed. So up here in Cleveland, obviously, the weather, we use that as our advantage, in a point. So I got to pass that along to the fans and see how do they feel about the stadium renderings and stuff. This is my first year here. I'm just happy to put on the Browns uniform and go out there and play great football. But definitely being in New Orleans, I can see advantages there just because it's indoors. But man, football is football. Once you get inside that gridiron, all things aside, it's time to play your best football, and the best man is going to win for that day.
James, we're scrutinizing every single one of Deshaun Watson's passes, because that's what we do. But he's got so much intense focus on him right now, and of course he's coming off the surgery. How do you think he's handling all that scrutiny, and how are you able to kind of help him maybe block out some of that noise or get through? One of the most
iconic roles that I got a chance to witness Deshaun was when he won the national championship against Alabama in Tampa, Florida. And in that game, there were some plays where, man, I saw him get hit hard. I saw him get, beat up, but he persevered. And I think through his whole life, I mean, when you think of the way that he grew up, Deshaun was built for adversity. He was built for resilience. So honestly, I know he respects everyone's opinion, but the most important opinion to him is himself. And I know that he's working through a lot of different things, but man, he's happy. He's poised. He isn't fazed by anything that anyone has to say because he's on a mission to be the best quarterback that he possibly can be. And again, just me seeing when I was that age, and I'm just 2 years older than him, but understanding, man, to whom much is given, much is required. And he knows the magnitude and expectation that a lot of people have for him. But if you think that Deshaun Watson has a lesser expectation than all the fans or all of you have of him, then you're shortchanging yourself, because he has high expectations. He wants to be and will be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And honestly, that's what I'm here for, because I guarantee you, I'm feeding that into him. I'm making sure that he knows that. And he really don't need my help because he has it. He already has possessed that. And I saw that in him when he won that national championship against Alabama. And that game meant so much to me because I'm a kid from Alabama, right? And I was a starting quarterback in Tampa, got a chance to see him. Lights, camera, action right then and there. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget. When you can go out, you can see practice, you can knick-knack, this, that, patty-whack, give a dog a bone. Deshaun Watson is going to turn it on. He always going to find a way to shine when the lights come on. Man, I just rhymed. Can I leave off that one? I know that one going to hit.
Jameis, have you thought about a career in motivational speaking when you hang it up? What are you thinking?
Man, I just want to be a man of increase. My faith has brought me so far in Jesus Christ that I just want to continue to show that light. One thing that me and my boys sing before we go to sleep every night is, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And I want to let my light shine. I want people to know that my fire for Jesus Christ, I want people to know that I'm here to encourage them, lift them up any way that I can. And that's just who I am.
What are you listening to? What's your top 5 artists of all time?
Top 5 artists, that's tough, man, because I got a lot of variety in my tunes. You got rappers, you got R&B, you got gospel. So I listen from a variety of Kendrick Lamar to Fred Hammond. I listen to the old Kanye West. I listen to some Jay-Z. I listen to some Drake. For the Swifties, I even try to listen to Taylor Swift. It's so many things. Like, I think music, like art, is so unique. So everyone has their own spin on it. But right now, I've been really dialed into Childish Gambino's new track that just came out, and I've really been bumping that lately.
So, Jameis, when you talk about Deshaun's resilience, and then if there's a bad practice or bad throws, is it still something that you guys talk about, even though he has that in him, do you still bring that up and say, okay, let's move past this throw or this practice?
I think more of the constructing side comes from our coaching. Coach Stefanski, Ashton, and Ken, like they do a great job of relaying the message of the do's and the don'ts. And I think a part of training camp is that learning aspect. Like this is a new offense for all of us. So we're going to have, even when it's a great play, we might have something where our eyes have to be fixed. So I think you continue just to sharpen that knife. So when it's time for battle, you're going out there and you execute to the best of your abilities.
The fact that it is a new...
Jameis, as you have learned Ken Dorsey's offense, what stands out to you and why is it beneficial for your game?
I think the most beautiful thing about his offense is we are attacking defense laterally and we're attacking defense vertically. And with the lateral game, you're allowed to get your completion percentage up. A lot of his quarterbacks have had high completion percentages, and obviously that's good because completions get on the defense's nerves and it keeps the rhythm and flow of the offense going. So that's been a very exciting part.
I was going to ask, going off of something you said to Scott's question, the fact that it is a new offense for everybody, does that help to kind of feel like, even though you're new in Cleveland, like everyone's on a similar kind of playing field and learning the offense?
I think you could say that. I believe the most important thing is that we get to learn it together, and we get to bring all of our perspectives together, and we get to discuss it, right? Because this is new. It's something that's just getting put in front of us, and we get to have different viewpoints of what is the best way to run this particular route. Like, what should the timing of our footwork be to this route to the left? And I think that is the beautiful part of, again, me having that veteran role in a system where, man, I can really relay a message to these young guys, and these young guys can relay a message to me that I can build off of, and I can take that from them and go and do it on the field as well. All right, thank y'all.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jameis. Good job.
That clip's going viral.